Y'all glad to be here today?
Hey.
All right, look to the person on your left and say, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here.
Okay, now you look back at them and say, you need help. All right, and then give them an awkward look and say, why are you talking to me right now? No, it's true. I'm going to get a little help with the slides here. If I could go to the next slide. I'm not sure what happened to the clicker. It kind of ran out of batteries or something. But there's like this been circle of bad news. I've got this podcast that you guys can go to. I was supposed to show up in this 1985 Prevost motor coach. Because why not ride in style? And what I'm in the process of doing is going to second home markets all over the country and podcasting with people to find out what's going on in your market. What is the ADR in your market, the average daily rate? Is it going up? Is it going down? Because I built my business on the ground by being face-to-face with somebody. Here's our podcast. You can go to it. And if you really are interested in what's going on in the trajectory of the market, go download episode 3 where I talked to Amy Highnote. She is an industry expert, and this will give you an indication of where the industry is going, but things don't really work out as planned, do they? Because Chris and I got here, and we got a phone call that actually we came out here 2 months ago to check out this bus. And we were so excited to travel the country. We get in the bus and we drive it 8 miles and it breaks down. And we managed to kind of putter it back to, I paid $100,000 for this bus and it breaks down after the first 8 miles. We get it back to the shop and my phone rings, and this is really kind of odd not to get too personal, but my phone rings and it's one of the agents in my office, and he goes, Jeremy, I just felt really called. He had no idea what was going on. He said, I really feel called and impressed that you need to pray for favor and peace right now. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So we did. Chris and I began to pray for peace and favor. And long story short, we came back out here again. The bus broke down again, so we can't get back home. But we got a call from the gentleman who sold us the bus. We bought this bus 2 months ago. We get a call from the gentleman who sold us this bus, and he says, Jeremy, I've heard about your struggles. I've heard about what's going on. I'm going to send this bus to the best Prevost dealer, and I'm going to pay for all the repairs, even if we got to break the engine down and build it back up again. Come on. That's favor. That's pretty awesome stuff. And I feel like this is my vessel to go out and really talk to people in the world who are struggling and preparing for this market shift, to just say, hey, God loves you and don't give up. All right, this is my beautiful family right here. I had the wonderful privilege of starting my real estate business in 2008 in the worst real estate market in history. And I realized that I had to adopt the philosophy that I am relentlessly passionate about that which I know I can accomplish. Because I was born in this shift, right? I did what I had to do in order to feed these guys. And so what I did is I adopted the mentality that the sky is not falling, that money is not rare, that I'll be able to attack this industry. And so I began to become learning-based, and I began to look around at who was buying at that time. Because in 2008, I worked with buyers. I only had 4 buyers that year. My wife was pregnant with one of these kids, and one of them was on the ground already. There was literally no hope. But I adopted that philosophy that I'm relentlessly, able to succeed in the pursuit of that which I know I can accomplish. And I started training real estate agents. I started training real estate investors. I started watching at who was buying. Branson, Missouri, there's 9 million people that come there per year. And a lot of them wanted to buy a second home, and I began to show them, this was before Airbnb existed, I began to show them how they could buy a much bigger property than they had intended to buy. They had come to Branson, they had only had $65,000 to buy a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. And they said they were going to fit their whole family in there. I'm like, how many people have you got in your family? And they're like, 16. And I'm like, whoa, you must be a close family. And they're like, yeah, it's okay, we've got air mattresses. I'm like, have you ever slept on an air mattress? It's not really comfortable. So I began to show them how they could take that $65,000, put it down on a $350,000 condo, a 5-bedroom condo, have room for their family, and then rent it out. Again, remember, this is before Airbnb existed. These were kind of revolutionary topics at the time. And I had the ability to go from feeding my family to growing that 40-agent brokerage. And we didn't know it, but we had grown the largest vacation rental-focused independent brokerage in the nation just by putting our heads down and helping investors get a greater return on their time. So that gives me a little bit of clout to be able to stand up here and talk to you guys today. And I have to say, I am an investor, but my wife and my kids, let's go to the next slide, they are the absolute best investment I've made because they're the best source of cheap labor on the planet. I mean, I've done a lot of flips, and let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And I'll tell you what, the mindset came to me as I was, this is my book, I was able to take the same 50 questions that I was asked over and over again by investors, and I was able to scale my business by creating this system. So these are the same 50 questions that I would get asked over and over again. You can buy the book on that link. You can go to Amazon. You don't have to buy it at all, but it's an easy guide to getting you started in the business. And I'll tell you a super quick story from it. It was back in 2008 when I was really struggling to try to figure things out. I had that knot in my stomach, you know, that I knew I had to succeed, but I hadn't succeeded yet. I'm driving my daughter to kindergarten, and that year, the kindergarten teacher had created a system of discipline where they give the kids a certain number of points at the beginning of the year, and they would take them away if the kids would act up. And so she had lost a point. She had acted up, and she'd kind of lost a point. We're driving her to school, and I thought this was a great opportunity as a dad to kind of, you know, talk about consequences in life, you know. That's right, honey. Like, if I drive this car too fast, I'll get pulled over and I'll get a ticket. And she's like, well, what happens if you get a ticket? And I said, well, Daddy's going to have to hire the best lawyer in town and get it fixed, you know, and that's going to cost a lot of money. And she's like, Dad, that's not the same thing. She said, money is not rare. She goes, if you need more money, you can always go make more money. If I lose a point, I can never, ever, ever get it back. And that changed my mindset completely. And that's when I realized that money is not rare. You know, whatever it is that you think is rare in your life is not rare except time. And I'm here today to help you get a greater return on that. You guys want to learn something about the short-term rental biz? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Oh, hey, book titles are hard. Back before Airbnb existed, nobody knew about this industry. So here's a few book titles that didn't make it. How I Made Money Meeting Strangers Online. All right, when I say survey says, you go, and all right, next slide. The next one was Bedroom Bucks. Turn your mattress into cash. But survey says, okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, here's my promise to you today, everybody. I'm going to have you leave with why the STR business is so popular and why it will continue to be so popular. I'm going to talk to you about why it's a recession-resistant asset class. I'm going to talk to you how to use investors right now. Since you're all real estate agents, it's more important to me to train you not how to go buy Airbnbs right now, but how to bring investors into your database so that you can turn around and sell them. Now, I can promise you, if you do go buy one, you're going to have way more clout. So use what I'm telling you, and I really want your CRM to be full of investors, and I'm going to show you 2 scenarios to help you to convert those investors. And I'm going to give you one thing to say to people to get them to set an appointment today. How's that sound?
Awesome.
Okay. How does it sound, people? I came all the way from Branson, for heaven's sake. Okay, next slide, por favor. Okay, so this here is my napkin pitch. So she asked the question earlier, how many of you own vacation rentals? Let's see it again. Okay, how many of you go on vacation? Okay, so look around. You're already using the product. I'm going to show you how to monetize the product. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about the difference between the long-term rental business and the short-term rental business, because this is going to be the first best way to show you the power behind this investment type. Are you ready? Okay, next slide. So on one side, what you're going to do on a napkin is you're going to draw a big T. At the top, on the left-hand side, you're going to draw LTR. And let's just talk about that business model for a second. A long-term rental, say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I'm just using kind of generic numbers that would, you know, kind of work for most markets. $1,900 a month times 12 months is $22,800. That's a pretty good amount of money, right? Yeah, I mean, I would take it. I would take it. And a short-term rental, 1 season at $300 a night times $165 a night, which is what most of my investor clients are getting, is $49,500. Let's go to the next slide so you can see the side-by-side. This is the biggest aha that you can help people have in the short-term rental business as you're training people, helping them understand in a very conversational way the power of the cash flow here. And then here's another thing that we need to mention. How many of us operate our long-term rental businesses on a 0% on a 0% vacancy rate? I mean, none of us do. The vacancy rate was invented to give us more accurate numbers, so that 22,000 isn't even the most accurate number. It's the most you can possibly get. In addition to that, you hope, you're praying to God that you've got somebody in your house for 365 days out of the year, aren't you? But let me tell you, the worst thing you could possibly do for your property is put a human being in the property for 365 days of the year. Because these human beings have animals. And because these human beings have friends that just got out of jail, that are trying to operate a tattoo parlor out of the living room. And when you try to go collect rent from them, they chase you off with a baseball bat. Ask me how I know this. I had to evict my wife's cousin from our own condo, for heaven's sake. But on the short-term rental business, this is operating on a 60% vacancy rate, y'all. The people that we coach get over 200 nights out of the year, so this isn't even the most money you can get. When you operate your business at the highest level, you can get over 200 nights a year, depending on your market, depending on how many peak season nights there are, and off-peak nights there are. You can use this property for charitable purposes. You can give it away. You can use it yourself. There is so much variety and ability to use this property. The number one reason why millennials are buying short-term rentals right now is because they want to be able to use it themselves. Because none of us have fun with our 401k. Go take it out to dinner tonight and see how well it does for you. Here's some other benefits. With short-term rentals, your rent is paid up front. You're no longer chasing late rent anymore. You've got happy renters. We literally have had people call us and say, wow, thank you for letting us stay here. This place is amazing. How many of you own long-term rentals? Have you ever had anybody call you and tell you that? More cash flow and more days a year to earn. This is for real. This is the condo that I had to evict my wife's cousin out of. This is in 2011. This is our Schedule E. This is our literal income from the property, $4,200. Once we converted it to a short-term rental, it was $21,700. I mean, I am literally using this. The next one is, I finally was able to buy that Ford F-150 I've always wanted to buy. Come on. That's right, I'm from the Midwest. I drive a Ford and I'm proud of it. All right, next one. That's my wife. She's always wanted to go to Colorado. I had never been. On my 40th birthday, we took her to Colorado, and it was amazing. I got to go to Comic-Cons and meet my hero, Lou Ferrigno, man. This guy, 5-time Mr. Olympia, awesome dude. He charged me 20 bucks for that picture, by the way. What a jerk. All right, next picture. Okay, so here's something that I want to do for you for free today. Just for listening to me. Thanks for sticking around by the end of the day, by the way. If you go to bransonstrguide.com, I'm going to give you a video of that napkin pitch so that you don't have to memorize it. You can just watch that video over and over again. And I'm also going to give you 2 more free videos. One of them is why short-term rentals now, and another one is just kind of a free intro to the short-term rental biz, so in case there's things that you want to know, or in case you want to sit down and learn these and begin to talk to your investor clients about why the industry is so successful. Because the first thing you guys have to do is you have to learn the industry. You have to learn to sell somebody on this industry. And then you have to learn to sell them on your town. And then you have to learn to sell them on the property. And you've got to get good at numbers. And then it helps if you can direct them to resources on how to manage it and be more successful. Why is that important? They will buy more. There's a smart lady sitting right over there. I'm going to show you how the short-term rental business, I'm going to show you how a 9-bedroom vacation rental can outperform a 12-unit apartment complex. You guys ready for that? You guys ready to win over some investors?
Yeah!
Okay, these guys are like truck drivers. They're a tough nut to crack. But once you do, they're loyal as can be, right? Okay, so 12-unit apartment complex. Help me out with the slides here. Don't get ahead of me, but what we're looking at on this 12-unit apartment complex, so the rent for that is, I'm telling you, it's a little sticky. The battery might be going dead. I'll just keep going ahead. I've given this speech a million times. 12-unit, here we go, 12-unit apartment complex. $800 a month, we're talking about maybe a studio or a 2-bedroom, times 12 is gonna be $9,600 times 12. That's $115,000. That's a pretty good scratch, isn't it? Yeah, would you guys invest in that? Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna get? 8%? 12%? Let's go to the 9-bedroom numbers. $800 a night times 165 nights is going to give us $132,000. And go to the next slide, because this is the most important thing. You don't have 12 dwellings to manage. You don't have 12 stories to listen to. You don't have 12 late payments. And I promise you, your painter and your remodeler are giving you a Christmas card this year. Thanks for the business. But with a 9-bedroom, you have maybe 1, maybe 2 air conditioners. And you get to know your clients. You get to talk to them. You get to invite them back. It's a much better way to do business, if you ask me. It is the gateway drug to real estate investing. And you all are dealers. So get out there. I'm serious, it's that easy. Show somebody this, and I promise you, they will be looking to buy one. I promise you. Do this tomorrow, and you will have people going out with you tomorrow. You guys gonna do this? Come on, you guys gonna do this? You will literally change the power of your life. I have the great privilege to train people day to day. I have the great privilege to be able to take my life from the point where I was completely broke. I had $3,200 in my bank account. I drove a Ford Focus. It was still a Ford, by the way. I called it the green bean machine because every time it rained, it got water under the windshield. It smelled like green beans when the sun came out. And now I own 2 resorts. I own a 51-unit lakefront resort on Table Rock Lake, on the most photographed location, because not only did I have the foresight and the knowledge of this industry, I know what my clients want, and I know the trajectory of the industry, and I'm not afraid, because I was born in this shift. Right?
Yeah.
And Crum, if you will not help me, then to hell with you! Here's the cool thing about this business. If you're working with investors and they're raising their eyebrow to you, and they're like, nah, I got this down. All you have to do is say, I'm not trying to tell you nothing you don't already know. I'm just trying to give you another tool for your toolbox, bub. If you're doing REOs, wholesales, rehabs, fix and flips, long-term rentals, lease, buy and holds, I've seen people do wholesale deals with them. You know, I've seen people buy 2-bedroom, 3-bath vacation rentals and then remodel the lower level in the off-season, make it a 5-bedroom, increase their per-night rent, sell it at a profit, and have absolutely zero hold time because the cash flow supported them. They had to literally budget $0 for hold time. And I've done this myself. You just rent it out until you sell it. Who's buying short-term rentals? Now this slide, to give you a little peek behind the curtain, was invented to tell you that everybody is buying short-term rentals right now. And when I started in 2008, it was the 45, now I would say more 55, 65-year-old. It was the person like the example I gave before. I mean, as your kids get older and they start to leave the nest, or they're maybe a junior in high school and you can feel them leaving the nest, people would want to buy a place to keep their family together, because that family place, that generational wealth that creates that place for our family. That picture of us that you saw earlier, that's in Alaska. That's on Kodiak, Alaska. Short-term rentals took me from the green bean machine to Kodiak, Alaska. Took my kids salmon fishing. I literally caught a salmon out of the ocean. I'm from the Midwest. There's no fish where I'm at. I caught a fish out of the ocean and I cut it up and I ate it. I made salmon fresh out of the ocean, and it was the most wonderful salmon I've ever had in my entire life. This is the power of this industry. It's changed. The buyer has changed completely. It's no longer these people that have money, those baby boomers. Let's talk about some macroeconomics for a minute. I don't know if you guys follow Harry Dent. I keep getting that fused with Harvey Dent. You know, he's the guy from Batman who's Two-Face. Anyway, Harry Dent, here's the real estate life cycle. This is when you start off, you're renting an apartment. Maybe you're renting a couch from a buddy. And then as you gain some wealth and get married, or find a life partner, you are the person that decides to get a starter home. Then you have a move-up home. Maybe you get some Rugrats, and you need a trade-up home. And by that time, we've got enough disposable income that we're looking for second homes and destinations that we want to travel to, and then vacation and retirement homes. So 10 years ago, there were 23 million baby boomers who were looking for retirement and second homes. That's what began to launch this industry. And this is a snapshot, just before I left, of the U.S. Census population. To show you these two categories, we've got the baby boomers, who I feel bad are getting forgotten about by these stinking millennials, who are super smart and are really going to save us, if we're being honest with each other. The baby boomers are still driving the economy, but the largest buyers of short-term rentals right now are millennials. As a matter of fact, the Wall Street Journal ran an article that I had the wonderful honor of being quoted in. And the title of the article was, "The short-term rental industry is coming of age." This is y'all. This is 3.8 million people turning 30 every year. We're looking at the best economy for the next 25 years that we're all ever going to see. There might be some short-term challenges because of the money supply, but let's keep an optimistic outlook and let's not buy into the mentality that the sky is falling. Let's buy into the mentality that these people are having babies and babies cost money. Old people don't do nothing for the economy, it's the young folks that do, right? It's the bottles, it's the diapers, it's all that, and it's the homes that they buy, it's the places for their family that they need to go. Y'all have kids and you didn't go on vacation that year, and those kids go back to school and everybody's like, oh, where'd you go on vacation? Your kids are like, I don't know, my mom and dad work all the time. You gotta take your kids on vacation. They're really good at getting you to go. And right now we've got 43% of the buyers this year that have bought vacation rentals were millennials. People are tired of this. This is the S&P 500 from the 1950s up. There's a volatility in other types of investment that people are tired of. People want more control over their investment. And real estate is scary to people because not everybody knows how to fix and flip. Not everybody knows how to go in and evaluate what it's going to cost to replace a roof. Now, not everybody has the vision to go in and remodel. But everybody knows how to go on vacation. Everybody knows what they want when they go on vacation. Everybody in this room raised their hand. Oh, I'm sorry. Everyone did raise their hand. Thank you. Can we hang out? You're awesome. It's happening. We're in a place right now where everybody knows what they want. It's the easiest type of real estate investment to get into. So I would encourage you to learn more about it. People are tired of this. Looking out their hotel room and seeing this. This is why this industry broke out in the worst real estate market in history. This is why this industry is recession resistant. It's because people can pool their resources. You're not staying in a hotel room. You don't have to go to the bathroom to get a cup of coffee. You've got a kitchen. These things matter. You can go on vacation with your family and split the cost of this hotel room with this view with 2 other families, and you can bring mom along. And you know she makes good chicken and dumplings. That's why you guys get together. I don't know what your therapy is when you guys get together on vacation, but for us, it's food. My grandma makes the best banana pudding I've ever had. This is serious. It's those things that have added to this vacation type. This sub-asset class is not going anywhere. It has matured. It's a teenager. A survey says people will go on vacation regardless of the economy. The difference is they're just going to vacation smarter. So don't worry about sensationalized news that everybody is talking to you about. People will always go on vacation. This is the most economical way to vacation, and your accommodations are 100 times better. And this is what you say to people to get them to schedule an appointment with you. Isn't retirement approaching faster than our ability to save? What is stopping you from scheduling an appointment with me today so that we can get started building your portfolio to find a vacation home that you want to use with your family? You guys like this? So that's it. If I have time, I'll take some questions if you want. If we're out of time, how are we doing on time? 1 minute? Okay. Come find me in the back afterwards. I'll be right back there. Thank you for letting me share, everybody. I appreciate you very much.